Morning, I'm Richard from Early Retirement Wanderlust, and it's the first Thursday of the month, so again it's time to talk about all things well-being. And in this video I want to take you through one of my favourite books, which is 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Burkeman. Morning. As I said, it's the first Thursday of the month, so it's time again to talk about all things well-being. Can you believe another month's gone by and time is just going so quick in 2024? What I want to do in this video is to take you through one of my favourite books, which is 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Burkeman. I came across this book a number of years ago and it just keeps pulling me back in, and I can't recall how many times I've actually read it. It covers one of the most fundamental questions that we've probably all got in terms of how much time we've got left in our life. And obviously, as we get older, as early retirees, that emphasis on our time that we've got remaining becomes more and more apparent, and it becomes more to the forefront of our brains. So I thought it would be useful to take you through some of the concepts of the book, some of the takeaways of the book, and why I love Oliver Burkeman's work. There's probably three main areas of the book. The first one being finitude, that life is going to end at some time and we only have a set amount of time on this planet and we can't do anything about that. We can't change it, so we've got to work within those parameters. The next thing is something that I got most out of the book, which is rejecting the idea of perfectionism, that we have to accept that we have a limited amount of time on this planet and we are never going to be able to get everything that we want to do done. And for me, when I was in work, that was just really important to really sort of center in on the fact that I couldn't do everything, and giving me the freedom and giving me the sort of control to make those decisions in my life as to what things I was going to choose to do, and also more importantly what things I was going to choose not to do. And probably the final focus of the book is accepting that we have a underpinning uncertainty about life. We don't know when our lives are going to end. We don't know what life is going to throw at us. But what we do know is that our future is uncertain, so we've got to be able to live with that. And that's a really powerful mindset shift that I had to wrangle with while I was reading the book and as I keep going back and rereading the book. So what I want to do over the course of the next 5 minutes is to take you through what I think are the 5 key lessons that come out of 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Burkeman. The first lesson is accepting our finitude. The average human life lasts about 4,000 weeks, and by simply accepting that, it gives us a greater focus on how we spend our time. Particularly when we're early retired, accepting this as a reality is really important to make sure that we are leading as meaningful life as we possibly can. And for me, it really changed how I look at each and every day, and I now absolutely see each day as a gift and an opportunity to get the very best out of my life, and not actually waiting for things to happen tomorrow and not worrying about the future, not necessarily ruminating on the past, because the moment of the day is a gift. It is the present, and that's a little bit of a play on words, but by making sure that we live in the present and making sure that we get the most out of every single day, it's really helped me focus on what's important and making sure that I don't put things off that are really important in my life. So for example, I really now value family time, because those moments are inevitably limited by the finitude of life, and we are not going to be able to get back the moments of today. So if I have the opportunity to spend time with my family or to build quality memories together, then I'm going to take that. And sometimes I think in my past working life I was a little bit guilty of losing that focus. Lesson 2, letting go of the efficiency trap. This is one of the key points of the book, and it aims to debunk the myth of perfect productivity. Not easy to say. this idea of perfectionism, that we can get everything done if we just find a way or we work hard enough. And the book goes to great lengths to say that mindset is actually a faulty mindset, and in reality we can't get everything done. It is going to be physically impossible. And I think that must resonate with everyone. It certainly resonates with me, because I'm hoping I'm not the only one that when I've ticked a few things off my things to do list, I don't look at that list and think how well I've done, get those things done. I actually think, right, okay, what am I moving on to next? And as soon as I take things off the top of my to-do list, other things appear on the bottom. And when I think about my working life, I had a constant list of things to do, and even up to the date of retirement it was never completed. And it took me a number of years, with the help of this book, to actually understand that that's okay, that we've been sold a pup, really, that there is no way that we can get everything that we need to get done in life completed. And what Oliver Burkeman promotes in this book is actually imperfectionism, accepting that we are imperfect, accepting that we can't do everything that we would like to do, but we are making a conscious and mindful decision about the things that we choose to do off that very, very long list of things that we could potentially do. If you've been watching this channel a while and you have been on this early retirement journey with Jackie and myself, you will know that one of the biggest challenges that I've had in early retirement is just to loosen my grip, to let go of things. In my working life, I was a planner, I was a strategist, I was a bit of a control freak, and I never actually realised that. And a lot of those habits have transferred into my early retired life. And one of the things that I have to get better at doing is just loosening my grip on life, having fewer expectations on the day, having fewer expectations on what I want to get done in the day, and just accepting that moment is a moment that we will never get again, and we just have to see how things go, become a little bit more relaxed about it, and not be so obsessed about how we are going to cram all the things that ideally we would like to get done into that one moment. And that links quite nicely to the next lesson. Lesson 3, focusing on what truly matters. Although I first read this book when I was in work, one of the things that it really has prepared me for in early retired life is focusing on the things that are truly important to me. The things like relationships, pursuing my passions, seeking adventure. Those are the things that, for me, fundamentally underpin my life. And for other people, I know it will be different. If we have an understanding of what we value, then that is a starting point for making the decisions about how we are going to spend our time. So for me, stepping into early retirement, one of the things I wanted to get out of my early retirement was to spend more quality time with Jackie. We both worked incredibly hard in our careers, and we were a bit like ships that pass in the night. And we felt that when we stepped into early retirement, that it was our time, and we want to prioritize that time that we have together. We want to be able to build our memories. We want to be able to use the time, and that time for us is just absolutely invaluable. If you've been watching the channel a while, you'll know that we put a massive emphasis on experiences over stuff. We're not true minimalists, but we do think about what we spend our money on, and we would much rather spend our money on experiences and building memories together rather than accumulating lots of stuff. And likewise, we sort of try and live as much as we can by the mantra of less is more. We try to have less stuff in our life so that we've got more time in our life and more energy in our life to do the things that we really value. And again, it goes back to that relationships, that adventure, and the passions that we want to pursue. Lesson 4, the value of leisure and play. In the book, Oliver Burkeman emphasizes how important leisure and downtime and play are in our everyday lives. And rather than looking at downtime as a really unproductive time, actually it's really quite transformational in our lives, and it's something that we absolutely need. And I think that's really important for those of us that are either retired or early retired, because sometimes in that phase of life there's a tendency to think that we lack that focus and we lack that purpose, and we have to keep pursuing that all the time. But there is an absolute value in having that leisure time and that time to just play. For me personally, I definitely lost that sort of balance. And when I was having downtime and I was having my leisure time, I actually felt a little bit guilty because there was probably other things that I should have been doing. And actually, I'd lost focus on where that value was. And the value was in just enjoying the moment, bringing fulfillment to my life, and just generally not worrying about the productivity trap. Looking back on it, when I was in my working life, there were moments when I was with my family when I was present, but I was not present. So I was there in body, but actually my mind was thinking about all of the things I needed to do for work. And in reality now, it's not just because I'm early retired. I've definitely changed my mindset to make sure that when I have got those quality moments, that I am fully present and that I'm not distracted and I'm not thinking about all of the things I really could be getting on with. You know, the most important thing is getting on with that particular moment. Lesson 5, embracing uncertainty. As well as accepting the finitude of life and the fact that we may only have, give or take, 4,000 weeks within our lives, the book also encourages us to think about the uncertainty of life and the fact that we don't really know what's coming up. And what we certainly can't do is we can't focus on the future. We have no control over that. The only thing that we have control of in our life is the present moment and how we choose to live that. The book encourages us to accept that the future is uncertain and to almost leave it to its own devices. The future will look after itself. All we can do is make sure that we are doing the very best in the present moment to make sure that we get the very most out of our lives. I think sometimes in life, we try and wait for that perfect moment to take action. And I've certainly been guilty of that. And in reality, what we should be doing is seizing the moment, because if we take this idea that the future is uncertain, there's never going to be a perfect moment for action. In reality, you've got to make that change and then just see what happens, because we can control the moment, but we can't control the future. As you can probably tell, I absolutely love the concepts within this book, and it's one of the books where I have managed to take so many things from the book and actually apply it to my life. And it really has been quite transformational for me in terms of how I lead my life, and particularly how I manage that transition from working life to early retired life. So that's it. I hope you've enjoyed my little book review and my thoughts and musings on 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Burkeman. I'd obviously recommend it as a read to anyone who is interested in regaining a little bit of control of time management and thinking about the finitude of life. In reality, the book has 3 main takeaways: accepting our own finitude, accepting our own imperfectionism, and also accepting that life is just going to keep throwing changes at us. And if there is one thing that I would encourage you to take away from this little book review, is that concept of finitude. None of us are going to live forever, so what we've got to really do is make sure that we spend each and every day living our most fulfilled and our most meaningful life. So on that deep note, that's it from me. I just want to wish you a great day. Go out, have a good one, and we will see you later. Bye.